Okay, so welcome to our channel, no? So our topic for today is income tax on individuals. Okay, so before we start, alalahanin muna natin ano ba tong tax na to, no? Again, yung tax na yan is one of the power of the government. Okay, it is a mandatory financial charge or levy imposed by the government. So ito ay pinapataw ng gobyerno sa mga individuals or entity para makakolekta ng fund. Okay, para makakolekta sila ng fund at gagamitin yung fund na yon para sa mga proyekto nila like infrastructure, healthcare, education, etc. Okay, so ang topic natin is tax on income. Okay, so when we say income tax, it is a tax on person's income. So sa kinita ng isang tao, emoluments. When we say emoluments, no, ito yung mga compensation, okay, mga payment sa mga compensation. Profit arising from property. So for example, nagbenta ka ng property, tapos kumita, o kaya naman nagparenta ka ng property, as kumita, kasama yun sa income tax. Practice of profession. So for example, isa kang lawyer, tapos nagbigay ka ng legal advice at kumita ka. So subject siya sa income tax. Conduct of trade or business or pertinent items of gross income specified in income tax code. So for example, meron kang business, kumita, trade or business, kumita ka, nagbenta ka ng mga pertinent items na under sa tax code is parte ng isang gross income, therefore income tax, kasama siya sa income tax. Less deductions if any. So if there are allowable deductions, pwede mo siya itanggalin at para makuha mo yung tinatawag na taxable income as amended by other special laws. Okay, so basically, yung income tax mo, basically, ito yung lahat ng gross income. Okay, so lahat ng kinita mo minus lahat ng allowable deductions. Okay, so sa batas, mayroong pinapayagan na ibawas dun sa gross income para mabawasan yung tinatawag nating taxable income. Okay. Ngayon, yung taxable income mo, i-multiply mo dyan yung tax rate. Okay, kung saan ka pasok na tax rate. At ang makukuha mo dyan yung tinatawag na income tax. Okay, so basically, yan yung tinatawag nating income tax. Okay, so napag-usapan natin yung tinatawag na persons. Okay, pagdating sa taxation, ang ibig sabihin ng person, it can be an individual, a trust, estate, or corporation. Okay, so merong apat na klase ng person pagdating sa taxation. Okay, so number one, yung individual. Yung individual, these are the natural persons. Ito lahat ng mga ipinanganak. Okay, natural persons. Next, number two, yung tinatawag na trust. Trust is a fiduciary arrangement that allows a third party or trustee to hold asset on behalf of a beneficiary or beneficiaries. Okay? So yung trust, isa ito sa isang legal agreement, no? Okay, so para mas maintindihan mo, magbigay tayo ng example. Okay? So for example, si letter A or si Mr. A, okay? Si Mr. A ay isang 40 years old na male na kung saan meron siyang anak na si C na 18 years old. Okay. Ngayon, si 40 years old na si A, nakapagpundar siya ng 100,000 na lupa. Okay, so nakabili siya ng 100,000 na land. Ngayon, ayaw niya pa yung ibigay kay C. Okay, baka lustayin lang o baka naman ibenta. Okay, hindi mo pa kinabangan. Kaya ngayon si A, makikipag-usap siya kay B na isang trustee na kung saan si B ang mamamahala sa lupa niya. Okay? At pagdating ng panahon, kapag yung lupa umabot na ang value sa 1 million, ibibigay niya na ito kay C. Okay? Yung arrangement na yon na kung saan ipinahawak ni A kay B yung lupa, at pagdating ng panahon Pag naging 1 million yung value, is ibibigay niya na C. Ang tawag doon is fiduciary arrangement. It is a legal arrangement. Ang tingin ng taxation doon is a person. Okay? Person ang tingin niya doon sa kanilang agreement. Okay? Si trustee, usually mga bangko to. Okay? Usually bank or financial institution. Okay? Next is estate. When we say estate, it is all the money and property owned by a particular person. So balik tayo sa example. So for example, hindi siya nakipag-usap kay B. Si A hindi siya nakipag-usap kay B. Yung 100k na lupa, ang tawag doon is estate. Estate siya ni A. Kasi pagmamayari siya ni A. Okay? So for example, meron pa siyang sasakyan. Okay? Meron pa siyang cash. Meron pa siyang mga bayat lupa. Lahat yon is parte ng kanyang estate. At ang tingin ng taxation doon ay isang person. And lastly, yung tinatawag na corporation. So when we say corporation, ito naman yung kasama dito yung one-person corporations, partnership, no matter how created or organized, joint stock companies, joint accounts, cuentas and participation, associations or insurance companies. So yung corporation, ito is isang juridical person. Ginawa ito ng tao. Okay, so yung corporation, partnership, yung example natin dyan is Ayala, San Miguel. Okay, yan yung mga korporasyon na kung saan ay ginawa sila ng tao. Okay, so ang tingin ng taxation ay person yun. Okay, so dito i-note mo lang sa corporation, hindi kasama daw dito yung tinatawag na general professional partnership, hindi kasama. Hindi rin kasama yung tinatawag na joint venture or consortium formed for the purpose of undertaking construction project or engaging in petroleum, coal, geothermal, and other energy operation pursuant to an operating consortium agreement under a service contract with government. So yung corporation, technically, lahat ito yung ginawa ng tao except sa GPP, yung General Professional Partnership, at saka yung joint venture. Okay? Kasi, ang tingin ng batas ng taxation sa General Professional Partnership is individual. So, para mas maintindihan mo, bigay tayo ng example. Okay? So, for example, si A at si B, parehas silang CPA. Okay? Parehas silang CPA at bumuo sila ng tinatawag na accounting firm. Okay? Nag-partnership sila para bumuo na accounting firm. Na ang purpose is for accounting, for their profession. Ang tawag doon is General Professional Partnership. Nag-partnership si A at si B na parehas na CPA para bumuo na accounting firm para i-practice yung kanilang profession. Ngayon, ang tingin ng batas, yung kikitain ng accounting firm is part of their individual income. Okay, kasi nag-practice lang naman sila ng profession. Parang yung sabi natin kanina na ang practice ng profession is part of income, person's income. So therefore, yung GPP, yung share ng income is an individual income. Okay? Same with joint venture. Okay? Example ng mga joint venture dyan, for example, si A and B naman is a construction firm. Tapos nakipag-usap sila sa gobyerno para gawin yung MRT. Okay? Yung MRT, since possible na may kitain sila dyan, ang tingin din ng taxation dyan, yung kinita ni A and B as a construction firm is part of their individual income. Okay? Kaya exempted sila sa pagiging korporasyon. Okay? So, ang topic natin is income tax on individuals. So, identify natin ngayon kung sino ba tong mga individuals na to. Okay? So, first one na individual is si citizen. Okay? Si resident citizen. Okay? So, when we say resident citizen, these are Filipino citizens residing in the Philippines. Okay? Para mas madali mong matandaan to, no? Hatiin natin siya. Okay? So, sinabi is resident citizen. Si resident, ito yung nakatira mismo dito sa Pilipinas. Sila yung may legal permanent home address sa Philippines. Okay? Domicile sila dito sa Pilipinas. Kapag sinabi naman nating citizen, ito yung mga natural born. Okay? So, pinanganak talaga sila bilang Pilipino. O kaya naman, ito rin yung mga naturalized. Okay? So, example natin ng mga naturalized Filipino is kung fan ka ng basketball, si Justin Brownlee. Okay? Diba si Justin Brownlee, para makapaglaro siya sa FIBA under the Philippine flag, nag-oath of allegiance siya sa Pilipinas, tapos pinirmahan ng presidente yung kanyang pagiging Pilipino. Okay? Ang tawag ngayon sa kanya is naturalized Filipino. O kaya naman, yung nanay at tatay mo ay parehas na Filipino. Okay? So malamang kapag nanganak si nanay mo dahil parehas silang Pilipino, Pilipino ka din. Okay? So yun yung resident citizen. Next, number 2 is yung non-resident citizen. So hatiin uli natin. Non-resident, ibig sabihin hindi nakatira sa Pilipinas. Okay, hindi siya nakatira sa Pilipinas, wala siyang legal permanent home address sa Pilipinas, pero Pilipino siya. Okay, hindi nakatira pero Pinoy. Okay, so sino-sino ba ito? So number 1, sabi ng taxation, these are who established the satisfaction of commissioner the fact of their physical presence abroad with a definite intention to reside therein. So nasatisfy na nila yung commissioner na dun titira sa abroad. Okay, so may physical presence na sila na dun sila titira sa abroad. Okay, for example, si Pinoy titira na sa USA. Okay, na-establish niya na dun siya titira forever. So, non-resident citizen. Next, non-resident citizen din daw kapag who lives the Philippines during the taxable year to reside abroad either as an immigrant or for employment on permanent basis. So, si Pinoy, okay, si A for example, isang Pinoy, nag-decide siya during taxable year na maging immigrant. So, pag sinabi nating immigrant, yan yung tinatawag nating titira na sila for good dun sa US. Okay? Since titira na sila for good sa US, they are considered as non-resident citizen. O kaya naman, considered din daw na non-resident citizen kapag merong employment on a permanent basis. So, ibig sabihin, talagang kailangan kasi doon ka na magtatrabaho sa USA. Pero Pinoy ka. Okay? So, since Pinoy ka na nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa, ang tawag sa'yo is non-resident citizen. Example natin dyan, mga OFW. Okay? Next is who works and derive income from abroad and whose employment thereafter require him to be physically present abroad most of the time or 183 days or more during the taxable year. So, ibig sabihin nito, isa ka ring non-resident citizen kapag most of the time. So, for example, pumunta ka sa abroad at inabot ka ng at least 183 days. At least 183 days nasa abroad ka. Considered ka as non-resident citizen. Okay, kasi most of the time, yung employment mo, nire-require ka na nasa ibang bansa ka. Okay? Ang tawag sa'yo is non-resident citizen. So, paano naman kapag hindi umabot ng 183? Okay? So, paano kung hindi umabot? For example, 182 days ka lang. Pag 182 days ka lang na nasa ibang bansa, resident citizen ka pa din. Okay? So, resident citizen ka pa din kung 182 days ka lang nasa ibang bansa. And lastly, who is previously considered as non-resident and who arrives in the Philippines at any time during the taxable year to reside thereat permanently shall be considered as non-resident for the taxable year in which he arrives in the Philippines with respect to his income derived from source abroad until the date of arrival. So, ito, yung pang-apat. So, for example, na considered ka as non-resident citizen. Okay? Pero gusto mo nang umuwi. Okay? Gusto mo nang umuwi sa Pilipinas. For example, January 1, 2026, considered ka as non-resident citizen. Pero, nung July 30, gusto mo nang umuwi sa Pilipinas. Okay? Yung income na kinita mo from January 1, 2026 to July 30, 2026 is considered as non-resident citizen. Pero onwards, July 31 onwards, considered ka na as resident citizens. Okay? So, para mas maliwanag, bigay ulit tayo ng example. Okay? So, for example, si A, okay, si A, isang seafarer. Okay, si A, isang seafarer. Or isang seaman. Okay, di ba kadalasan nasa barko sila? Okay, si A, isang seafarer or seaman na isang Pinoy. Pero Pinoy siya. Okay, na nakatira sa Bulacan. So, malamang, since Pinoy yan, nakatira sa Bulacan, isa siyang resident citizen. Okay? Pero, kapag si A lumagpas, okay? Lumagpas siya ng 183 days sa barko o sa dayuhang lugar. Lumagpas siya ng 183 days o umabot at least 183 days, considered siya as non-resident citizen. Okay? Pero kung for example, 180 days lang, umuwi na siya, considered siya as resident citizen. Okay? So, sana maliwanag yun. Okay? So, next is yung tinatawag na resident alien. Okay? So, when we say resident alien, ito naman yung mga individual whose residence is within the Philippines and who is not a citizen thereof. Okay? So, resident, nakatira sa Pilipinas, pero hindi Pilipino. Okay? Nandito sa Pilipinas, pero hindi Pilipino. Okay? Para maklasify ka as resident alien, kailangan ang pagstay mo is without definite intention. Okay? So, yung pagstay mo sa Pilipinas, walang definite intention. Hindi mo talaga kagustuhan. Okay? Pero, meron kang definite purpose. Okay? Example natin ng definite purpose is, for example, si foreigner, si X, na isang foreigner, married kay A na isang Pinoy or Pinay. Okay? Since meron na siyang definite purpose para tumira sa Pilipinas dahil nga married siya kay A na Pinay or Pinoy, therefore, meron ng definite purpose, ang considered sa kanya is resident alien. Okay? Example pa natin is, meron siyang business. Okay? Si X meron siyang business dito sa Pilipinas. Since meron siyang business dito sa Pilipinas, meron siyang definite purpose para pumunta. Okay? Pero wala siyang intention magstay. Okay? Meron lang siyang purpose para pumunta, pero wala siyang intention magstay. Okay? Consider siya as resident alien. Okay? Pero for example, si X, isang foreigner. Okay? Pumunta lang siya sa Pilipinas para mag-Boracay. Okay, para sa recreation lang, gusto lang niya magliwaliw. Okay, pumunta lang si foreigner para mag-Boracay. Hindi siya considered as resident alien, but rather considered siya as non-resident alien. Okay, considered siya as non-resident alien. Kasi nga, yung pagpunta niya is walang definite purpose. Recreation is not considered as definite purpose. Okay? And lastly, para makompleto natin yung citizen, is yung tinatawag na non-resident aliens. So when we say non-resident aliens, classified to as hindi na nga siya nakatira sa Pilipinas, pero hindi rin siya Pinoy, pero pumupunta sa Pilipinas. Okay? Ang sabi ng taxation, lahat ng foreigner na hindi nakatira sa Pilipinas pero pumupunta sa Pilipinas is considered as citizens. Okay, considered as individual. So may dalawa, engage in trade or business or not engage in trade or business. Okay? Kapag ka-engage in trade or business, kahit pa wala siyang definite purpose pero pumupunta siya sa Pilipinas at umabot ng 180 days. Okay? Umabot ng 180 days plus 1. So mga 181. In aggregate, umabot siya ng 181 days. Considered siya as engage in trade or business. Pero kapag less than at saktong 180 days, considered siya as not engaged in trade or business. Okay? So si foreigner, for example, si X, wala naman siyang specific purpose. Pumunta lang siya sa Pilipinas. So for example, pumunta lang siya sa Pilipinas para magliwaliw sa Boracay. Okay? Sasabi natin kanina, hindi siya considered as RA, pero considered siya as NRA, non-resident alien. Pero may dalawang klase ng non-resident alien. Kapag lumagpas siya ng 180 days, okay, pag 181 days siya lumagpas siya, considered siya as engaged in trade or business. Okay? Considered siya as trade or business. Pero kapag 180 days or less, 180 days lang, considered siya as not engaged in trade or business. Okay? So, next topic natin for next video is type of income earners. So, kaputuloy muna natin no, sa individuals in discussion natin. And for next topic, ano naman yung pwedeng kitain na income ng mga individuals. Okay? Pwede siyang purely compensation income. So, kinita niya sa pagtatrabaho. Your self-employed or professional income earners, meron siyang sariling business, sole proprietor siya, or freelancer siya, o kaya naman isa siyang professional, CPA, lawyer, architect, civil engineer, na nagpa-practice in profession, o kaya naman pwedeng both. Employee na siya, meron pa siyang sideline. Okay? So, hanggang dun na lang muna, no? So, salamat sa panonood. Kung meron kang gustong topic na gusto mong i-discuss or merong clarification, comment down below. Okay? So, salamat. Hanggang sa muli. Paalam.